So with that being said, you want vodka?
In a minute, I'm
Okay.
gonna give these guys a drill.
Okay.
I think one of the hardest things is being a high school coach or a youth coach and having just you and your assistant, if you're lucky enough to have an assistant all the time. So I don't think you could ever beat a 4-on-4 drill. I think 4-on-4 is the best way to go about it, because I think as a single coach or the two of you together, we can watch so much that's getting done on the field. If you're a team that likes to keep one guy on the crease offensively, all right, so then I would start this drill with the midfielder up here, one creaseman, another midfielder here, and then one attack. 1, 2, 3, 4, just so I can point out numbers to you. So we would give this, now they're getting played by defensive guys. Probably we would move this kid over here. All right. Basically, so we, as a lot of times, I would run a lot of two men up top offense with one guy. So these would be 3 middies, and this would be an attack. So I would start here, and his job is to break his guy down, so you're getting one-on-one play, and he's going down the alley with the ball. Okay, and this kid is going to follow. This is our basic offense, and this kid is going to show. All right, and what I really like to do better than that, to tell you the truth, was start this kid here. Okay, and so now as he drove down, 2 knows he's stepping out, 1 knows he's following, and 3 knows because the ball's coming right at him that he's coming through. He's clearing out. That's a basic rule. The ball comes towards you with a carrier, you clear out. So he's clearing out. So this lets me start the whole basis of my offense. All right, and now at the same time it lets me play defense, because I've got a defenseman here, and he's going to be the slider because we slide from the crease. So this allows me to do that. So as he starts down with the ball, he's going. This defenseman here, he's off the side of the ball, so he's moving in to help in the middle. Depends on you and how you coach, but our defenseman here, we've always had a rule that if the ball comes to you and your guy slides through, you double. And we would yell that out. And then that way this guy could show and come back and make sure the hole is covered. I don't want to get too complicated, but mainly what I'm trying to say to you as a coach, you can sit here and one time watch your offense and the next time watch your defense. And you can blow the whistle and jump in there and show so many little things. You're getting one-on-one play, you're getting the basic part of your offense, you're getting your defensive slides. Here's your first slide, and here's your second slide. You know, and you can run it that way. So then it stops, and the goalie makes a save, or the ball goes out of bounds. You blow the whistle. Now number 1 starts with the ball. Up here, you're still set up, and you got your lines of middies here. And then you throw your attacking defenseman in when you want him to switch. And now number 1 here is going to go down this alley. What does 4 do? He follows. Okay, you don't have anybody here clearing out, so 3's going to break back here as an outlet, and now your defenseman's coming here, and 2's stepping out to that side. I had a coach then, he would draw this for about 35 minutes, and we'd all be sitting there going, holy Christ, look at this maze. Yeah, that's the other thing too, when you draw stuff for your kids and you give them handouts and you do a playbook or anything, use numbers, don't use letters. Don't use 3 A's and 3 N's and then start drawing and say, okay, I meant that M or this M. Just, you know, use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you can always say that's where 6 is or that. Because kids can identify with that. Just a little thing. That's why so many coaches at clinics, you know, do drill or show stuff, even with their PowerPoint unbelievable displays. They go A, and M. Do use numbers. Tell everybody what the number is, that's all. I think it's just easier to identify. Now, if you're a guy who likes to use 2 guys on the crease, you can do the same drill, right? You start 1 middy up top with the ball, you put 2 people on the crease and put an attacker behind. Or, if you like to go through, and 90% of us have more right-handers than left-handers, so you put the kid on this side, because you know that this kid's right-handed and he's probably going to go here. Then your next middy's turn to go, and he's a left-hander. take 4 and put him over here so that he goes where you want him to go. But now you run the same thing so that you're working on your defense and your offense at the same time. You get one-on-one work. And then the next time after he goes and it stops, then start 4 with the ball back here and let him go one-on-one. And let these guys do what you want them to do inside. I just think you take 2 guys off the field, it's so much easier for you to see, and it's so much easier for your kids to understand what they're doing. And then you can add to it as you go on. Maybe an hour or a half hour of that and then add to it. So I just used it for years and years and years as a high school coach for 17 years, and this was always the thing that saved me because half the time my assistant was there and half the time he wasn't. So I had to get a lot done. Thought we'd do some individual stuff for you now, especially with defensively with Matt here, and let him talk to you a little bit about that. And I also asked him if he would talk a little bit to you about the face-off, not what the face-off guy does, but what are we doing with our wing guys on face-offs. So Matt. He's got a picture back there that he'll definitely sign autographs if anybody wants it later. Left-handed.
A couple of things.
Talk later.
I'll teach you how to snowboard. A couple of things I want to talk about, just real quick for you high school coaches. I coach at Highlands Ranch High School, and John talked about recruiting. The great thing about early recruiting is that Division II and Division III coaches think it's the greatest thing in the world. They get steals left and right. And from what I've seen in my year of coaching, there's a lot of Division II and Division III lacrosse players in Colorado. Right? So now it's time to start connecting those players with those Division II and Division III coaches. You know, they have some of the best academic schools, the NESCACs in the Northeast. I don't know if any of you guys have, you know, the Middleberries, the Amherst. These are some of the best schools in the country, and they can't touch kids until the summer going into their senior year. And they love it because now they already have to, they can wave away all those Division I guys and start looking at the guys who didn't develop until their junior year. And I'm seeing that with my Highlands Ranch kids. I've been talking with them. And one of my kids, you know, I sat him down, who I think is going to be a very good player for us. He didn't even see the field last year, and a year later, he's probably going to be our leading goal scorer. And I asked him where he wants to go to school, and he said, Johns Hopkins of North Carolina. And I just said, you're crazy, forget about it. Those classes are filled. What are your grades like? And he has, you know, he's a 4.0 student. I said, let's start talking to the Amherst, the Middleberries, the better schools in the Northeast that fit him both academically and lacrosse-wise. So, you know, there's a few studs out here in Colorado, but overwhelmingly, I'm saying Division II and Division III. This early recruiting is the best thing that ever happened to those kids. So I don't think it's anything to be discouraged about. So I'm going to focus more on defense right now. And the one thing that I think benefited me the most growing up in New York was that I didn't just play lacrosse. Right? That's my coaches always told me, football, lacrosse. I think they go together well, great, but you know, it doesn't matter what sport it is, you have to do something outside of lacrosse. The different things that you can't coach, like field IQ, field sense, that stuff, that doesn't just all of a sudden happen.